Hey, ladies, how's it going this early morning? It's good. Welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. I'm your girl, Mel. And of course, we have the lovely co-hosts, Nick the Voice and Amber D up in the building. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about participation. Mel, why did you name today's show Participation? Because I feel as though that the people who participate in any action are just as guilty. Boom! So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and there's laws on the books for it. It's called accomplice.
Boom! Let's do it. All right, listen, let's start off with something that's happening local. In the area, there was a young lady who got dropped off at a house, and their door was unlocked. Follow me. And the door being unlocked, she decided to, this happened in Brookfield, Ohio. She done went in. She just went to a little wet bar they had, poured herself a drink, went in her refrigerator. She had a Hot Pocket, alleged, and she ate some lasagna that was left over. Then she had herself a bath. She done drew herself a bubble bath. Ha! So, old Goldilocks had herself a nice time. And they're charging her with burglary. Now, is there some mental illness there? That's what they found, that there was some mental illness. Go ahead, Nick.
You're mute.
I was handling that.
You were talking.
Go ahead. So what's your thoughts on when I said that there's some mental illness? What's your thoughts on her? Should she be? You think she should be charged with burglary though?
That's a fine. There is mental illness. There's a lot going on. She's still dealing with the fact that she lost her son a couple of years ago.
Oh, is that what happened with her?
Suicide, lots of things. So yeah, she's been dealing with that for a long time. So, and a lot of people at home are making jokes, but everybody knows her. That's not her character. That's not the type of person she is. So yes, she's literally going through a mental breakdown, and I really feel bad.
Okay. Now, because you know her. Now, I don't know her. But I think, I was like, we got a real live Goldilocks. I ain't mad at her either, though. Listen.
Me either.
I was like, okay, boom. Like, you walk in, they got, the bar open. Like, you know what I'm saying? You going in the house, get myself a drink. She done had some lasagna, and she had a bubble bath. I was not mad at her for that. Should she have gone in somebody's house? Probably not, but here's the thing. They left and went to dinner. Their door was unlocked.
Right.
My problem is, why are you charging her with burglary? What did she steal?
It's the food. And so when her body walked out of the building, then she stole the food. That was my first reaction. Was like, that's a Trump.
So if she had went to the bathroom, would that have been stealing? If she dumped the food off? If she dropped it off in the toilet? On the porcelain throne? I'm like...
Right, that's my only thought.
She broke in.
She didn't break in.
And that's it.
She walked in.
Trespassing.
Her
Right,
house.
trespassing.
Yeah, that's it.
Trespassing. I'm like, burglary? And then what's crazy is you see people who do more and their bond is like $500. I think that was some of the people with the insurrection. Bond $500. And then you got this lady at $5,000. I ain't lying. If I had it, I'd go get her out if she show up, because then you can't get it back if they don't show up. But I was like, you know what? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yes, I understand that the home owners feel violated, but you left your door unlocked. So the lesson should be, guess what? I'm not saying people should be able to just go on in and, walk in somebody's house and have at it. But the lesson should be on the homeowner. Make sure your doors are locked.
Right.
Now, I had a home invasion, and our door. We were home, but our door wasn't locked. And I mean, I think it's maybe like a cultural thing too. Because
That's scary. That's scary.
Well, I think a lot of people who grew up in the country, like the door locking isn't that big of a deal just because it's not a very populated area. I feel like a lot of people that grew up in the country, like, yeah, we can lock our doors. And like, you know, if you're like sitting on your porch, why would you lock your door? You know what I'm saying? Like, or if there's like a whole bunch of people in your house, your door is not locked. But anyways, we had a home invasion and we were home for it. We hadn't left. But so I don't think the door being locked matters. I mean, it was still trespassing. I just feel like if you're taking into account mental illness, she didn't take anything. She didn't physically harm anyone, which was not our situation.
The lasagna was left over.
What?
The lasagna was, y'all didn't want it.
Like she went in there and started cooking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I think it's trumped up, and I think, you know, just historically there's imbalance in how in the judicial system and how like minorities are treated, particularly minorities with mental health issues or going through a mental health crisis. It's just not fair. So it sounds like.
Go ahead, keep talking. No. Keep your thought, Amber. Go ahead, keep your thought.
Okay, right. That's all I want to say. I'm done.
Oh, okay. And now, at the comment, Annette said at least she took a bath. That's how I felt. That is how I felt. And I'm like, well, that's nice. And, you know, to some, I'm very particular, but we have to look at it this way. And I'm not justifying this woman's action. Yes, trespassing is wrong. However, you know, it is something when you be like, oh my gosh, I got into my bathtub like a stranger was in my tub. But when you purchase a home, it was a stranger in your tub. You know, like those are the things that you have to consider. Like, oh, we got to wash this mug out. But I thought it was I was like, oh, she was living the life. Let me get myself a drink. Yeah, you know, listen. And had it been me, as, you know, being a homeowner and saying, okay, somebody came in, what would you do, Mel? Here you go. That situation, didn't take anything, had a drink. Let's talk. Let's shop talk.
What's wrong?
Let's shop talk. I ain't even mad at the drink because guess what? If you would have came here and I was here, I probably would have offered you one anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you want a bath to relax, go ahead. You know what I mean? Oh, we got some lasagna left over in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? If you want to help yourself. I didn't see when you say home invasion, that's something like extreme to me, because home invasion is like you sitting there and somebody came in with guns. You know, I'm all of that.
Yes.
So I would like for you to share that with the listening audience and let them know the importance of locking your door, because I always say everything, I learned life lessons as a child. Nick, you hear me say that all the time. I learned life lessons when I was a little kid at the playground. I read books. Goldilocks. I learned a life lesson. Lock your doors, bears. You're not or this can happen. She'd be laying in your bed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
right.
Go ahead. All jokes aside, I want to hear your story on your home invasion.
So this was several years ago. We were in Florida, and our son, there was stuff happening, and our son was outside playing in our backyard for like the whole day, pretty much. And then came nighttime, we were like, okay, you know, it's time to come in. He was little. He was like in elementary school, kindergarten, first grade, like first, second grade, something like that. He was little. He was just playing in our backyard. And so he came in, but he didn't lock the door behind him. It was closed. The door was closed, but it wasn't locked. Mm-hmm. And so we were in the living room. We were like, okay, it's bath time. Let's pick out our story for the book we're going to read before bed or whatever. And we're just getting ready for bedtime, right? And so this dude just walks in, and turns out, we didn't know this at the time, but he had robbed a couple of people. Like, he was just walking into people's houses. And yeah, lots of people didn't have their doors locked. So he was just walking into people's houses. And so he walked in, he had a face mask on, and he was like, get down. We were in my son's room at that point, and it was a little, you know, to me now, it's a tiny little apartment. Everything is on one floor. It was a duplex.
Okay.
So it was like a ranch style house. Anyway, so he just walked into in the room and was like, get down. And so he had turned to my husband, which that was his greatest mistake. He turned his back towards me and turned to my husband, was like, get down. My husband at the time, he had just gotten out of the hospital. Both of his lungs had collapsed. He was very ill, very frail. Wow. And so he turned his back on me and started tussling with my husband. And so when he turned his back, I ran across the room and jumped on his back and started punching him and hitting him and stuff. And so then we was all tussling together like some ends. And okay. I'm just keeping it.
Go ahead.
And so then went out into the living room. Him and my husband, my husband's trying to fight him off or whatever. He had shrugged me off his back or whatever, and I went back, flew back across the room, and I hit the door. It was like a Jack and Jill bathroom connected to my son's room. And the doorknob left an imprint in my butt. That's how hard he threw me.
Wow.
I had a circular bruise in my butt from hitting the doorknob. And so then my husband and him were in the living room tussling. And so he, it was like a vase that got knocked over and broke. And my son was there too. And so my son got knocked up against the wall. And so when my son got knocked up against the wall, he started crying. And when my son started crying, I was like, it's a wrap. It's
you lost it right there. You just right. It's cool with my husband and me, but wait, the baby?
The baby. Yeah. And so he ran out the door. My husband let him. My husband was winded at that point. And so I ran after him. And there was a girl. I'm not the one. So I ran after him. He tried to jump over the fence. And he had a little backpack on. So I grabbed him as he was trying to climb over the fence. I grabbed his backpack and pulled him back down. And then he turned around and punched me in my face. And then and we was tussling. And then he got me on the ground. And he was on top of me. And then he started choking me. And so then my husband came and grabbed him, because we were on the ground. And he grabbed me by his nostrils and pulled him off of me, right? And so then him and my husband was tussling again. And so then I got up and I came over and both of them was on the ground and they was both in between my legs. And so I just started punching him in the ribs, right? Because he got my husband in the headlock. And so I was punching and trying to get him to turn him loose, and he wouldn't turn him loose. And then I punched him in his genitals, and then he let him go, right? And so then my husband rolled away. Then dude got up and tried to jump the fence again. And so then I grabbed his backpack again.
Oh my God! Aberdeen!
Terminator. And if he had jumped the fence, I would have been over the fence.
Right. Your husband probably was like, let him go. I'm tired. I just got out the hospital.
No, son, no. And so then he kept trying to get over the fence. I was holding on to him, and he kept I was losing my grip on him. And at the very end, I had him by his big toe. And I said, Farhan, he's got to get away. And at that point, it was a rag. We were in the ghetto. It was a wooden fence, and it was raggedy. And so the wood fence split because of his weight. And so my husband reached into the split onto the other side of the fence, grabbed dude by his arm, and started pulling him back into our side of the fence. Right? And so he had just got his arm through, and then he started pulling his arm, and I was like, rip it off!
Whoa, did y'all call the police? Did he get arrested?
No, we getting there. And so then he started taking because he was forward with his face facing, on the other side of the fence. So his arm was backwards to our side of the fence. So he started bending his arm backwards, trying to break it off because I told him to. And so I started screaming. Now before this,
but you gotta speed it up because we on the time limit.
I'm sorry, but before this, we was in the backyard. And he was trying to run, but I have my basketball defense moves on there, blocking it in. I kid you not. So I was screaming, and we actually lived behind a halfway house. Again.
Okay.
And so the dudes from the halfway house, I'll never forget it. They came, there was 5 of them. They came, run, jumped over the fence, another fence, jumped over the fence and grabbed the dude and pulled him all the way through the fence at that point. And then they started stomping him. I started stopping him, and then I was like, no, don't kill him, because they started kicking him in his head and stuff.
You like, oh, I don't want that. Like,
right. And then the police came, because the whole time I had been screaming at the top of my lungs.
okay.
And it turned out my other neighbors had called the police too, because he had robbed them.
Okay, well, y'all captured. Yeah, captured.
Real mama bear mode.
Right. You captured the assailant. Was interesting. That's kind of dangerous. I'm glad things worked out in your favor, because he could have had a gun or anything. And
actually, he had a knife on him. Yeah.
Oh.
So, but, I mean, it happened so quickly. It turned out he was on drugs. He was under the influence. And then he was by the end, he was looking at 30 years because he choked me, which is strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
When he robbed my neighbor who was a retired pastor.
Okay.
By the way, he broke his phone so he couldn't call 911. Preventing someone from calling 911 is a felony.
So everybody came together and pressed charges against him.
Well, I don't know. I know that I wanted to press charges. My husband was just like, whatever, like, I'm tired. Like, he was so sick at the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just really didn't care that much. And I was like, no, I want him prosecuted. And this was at the time.
Okay, so let's fast forward. Let's fast forward. Did he do any jail time?
I actually don't know. I don't know, because, like, maybe 3 months after that, my husband passed away, and I no longer cared. So.
Okay, so you just kind of just let it go.
Mm-hmm. I moved out of the state.
Did you? Well, we here on Shop Talk with Mel would like to find out, and we'll update you when we get that information of whatever happened to the part. Did he probably went, gave his life over to Christ, repented, was like, that was just way too much. Yeah.
He might not even remember.
He probably don't.
He said he did remember, and he apologized. But when the last time he met with the prosecutor, and I said, I don't accept your apology. But my husband's like, I accept his apology. Like, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no.
Not after the baby. You hit the baby.
Not after the baby, no.
You hit the baby. That's a problem.
When you mess with the baby, that's it.
Man, it's a whole different thing. You could take, and you'd be like, okay, but then when you mess with somebody's child,
right.
It's a whole nother thing. Man, but I'm glad things worked out for you. And I did see in the comment where we're talking about commenting on the young lady who did go into somebody's house. So, well, I'm not saying that it's okay to just go check doorknobs. That I'm not saying. But I want to go to the comment. I'll read Monica Wynn. She said that, bottom line, she willingly went into a play structure that was not hers. She willingly, knowingly opened a bottle of wine and ate the food, and it was not hers. Here's the thing with that.
Mental illness.
That's the only thing. It's like, okay, were you in your right mind? If you were in your right mind, that's different. Like, if I walked in that mug, I'd be like, oh, turn up. This is nice in here. I'm in my right mind. But somebody who suffers from mental illness or mental health issues, they'll go in, that person might be, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, okay, look at here. I'm glad they weren't big on that, like, mental illness back in the day when we was writing fairy tales. Hold on one second, Nick. Because can you imagine, they probably would diagnose all these old fairy tales. Like the wolf. What is it? The Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, he was bipolar. Oh, he needs some, oh, no, he wasn't bad. He was suffering from this. Single family home, some craziness. Go ahead, Nick.
She doesn't even know the person that dropped her off. They just,
they dropped her, yeah.
Her off.
But they said that she had clothes too. She had clothes because she changed into clean clothes after her bath. So she could have very well thought that was her house.
So it was the homeowner's clothes, not her clothes.
No, they were her clothes. They said it was her clothes, right? Yeah. She put on clean clothes.
It was the homeowner's clothes from what I read.
Oh, they were the same size?
Mm-hmm.
They had new clothes. That's why I'm trying to figure it out, because the news media, the media sometimes have stuff screwed up.
They do, but and I get, even with the viewers and the listeners are saying it wasn't her structure. I get it. I'm not saying it's okay to just walk up in somebody's house and party or relax. go to a spa, because that's what it sounded like. It was just like spa day.
Yeah.
You know, that's not okay. But burglary to that extent,
Yeah.
that's a bit extreme. That we know that there's injustices in the justice system. And it's like, okay, she has to, I saw where the police officer said, she has to know, I guess she's the one that the lesson is on, you know, like, come on. And it's so different when you actually suffer from mental illness. And there's things that will take you over.
Right.
Mental illness is real. So I'm not negating that, and I'm not making fun. So I don't want the people that don't have nothing else to do but just pick apart every single thing because they just want to argue in the basement at their mother's house on an old couch. Like, I'm going to troll. This is what I'm going to do. So let's be clear. It is real. We have fun. This is what we do. We edutain at the same time. Go ahead, Amber. What you got?
I just, for me, like I said, based on my own personal experience, it seems like the homeowners weren't home for the whole situation. And then also, she doesn't seem like she would have been violent. And like if she had a confrontation with the owner, they'd be like, get out of my house. Like, why are you here?
And she probably would have left. I felt like that too.
She would have left. Like, my bad. It was, in my experience, most of the time when people who are like having an episode or something, you can tell they're off and something, like they're a little out of touch or whatever. She just doesn't strike me as violence. And for me, that is a big part of it. Like, she wasn't violent. You know, she wasn't being violent. She didn't damage anything. She used.
Listen, didn't even take nothing. But I guess she fed herself. On Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's the bottom. That's the first step. You know what I mean? And there is a thing called temporary insanity. And it's real. And clearly, Amber D did that with her home invasion. Temporary insanity. Why are you pulling this danger back? You know, and it's like,
no,
she went off.
It was just like a child. Like, you know, when your child runs from a whooping and that just makes you more angry. If he had just said today is still like, we're calling the police so you can be prosecuted, I wouldn't have had to pull him back in if he would have stopped trying to run from me.
So tell me this, what was he coming for? Did he ever get what he came for?
He was looking for money.
Okay.
And so this is what's crazy. My one neighbor, he stole from the pastor. He's looking at a felony charge off of $5. He took $5 off of his person. Pushed my neighbor was like 80 at the time, a little old man. Pushed him to the ground, broke his cell phone so he can call 911, and then stole $5 out this man's pocket.
Drugs is a heck of a thing.
He was looking for money to get high.
That's something like drugs is a heck of a thing.
That's crazy. But I'm just gonna ask.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna ask our listening audience and our viewers, please just pray for her. Yes, trespassing is wrong, but if you know a person personally, and you know that is not their character. I even seen the picture that they posted. That's not the saying that I know. Please just pray for her. That's
And you know what though? And those pictures be looking jacked up.
They do it intentionally.
Yeah, they look jacked up because they be asking questions so you could be like, you know what I mean? They would be asking questions down there at intake and catch you off guard and you looking real silly. And that'd be a mug shot. But go ahead.
More than that, because in other people's mugshot photos, they will give them a chance to compose their face.
Get some.
I think it's intentional. It's very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Or make them look sad and like they victims, but they getting booked.
Right. Right. I'm going to play this clip because we're going to move on to Representative Mary Miller. Y'all know her? That was the one who thanked Trump for the overturn of the Roe versus Wade. Yeah. And she actually said she wanted to thank him for white life in the Supreme Court. Did you hear it?
I heard about it.
Let's see. Let me see if I can play it for the lovely people. Let's see. This is Representative Miller. Let's go here. Can we get here? Come on. Can we play it or not? Let's see if it comes up. I'm trying to get it. Because it's me doing it. Yeah. Come on. Technical difficulties because I'm doing it. Usually I have people. And I'm like trying to make it happen.
Are you safe here? 60 minutes.
Oh, okay. Look, that's doing that part. I want to hear the lady. Anyway, what she ended up saying, I think she was meaning to say like pro-life. I don't know, but she actually said white life.
It's a Freudian slip.
You know.
Yeah, wasn't no slip. That wasn't
Here you
no
go.
slip.
behalf of all the MAGA
Listen.
patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life and the supreme.
You see, they tried, the channel tried to do something different.
She meant to say that.
It worked. I can hear it.
You heard it, but no, it started spooling. They don't want to hear that. They didn't want me to hear it. But look, they want the listeners to hear it. So hopefully you guys heard that part. Let's see, hold on.
She meant to say it like that.
Okay, wait.
Victory for white life.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to get it to go back, and I can't even get it to go back. But she said it, and that's crazy.
While trying to say right to life.
Oh, right life, she was trying to say.
Her campaign also adding Miller has the most pro-life.
So, right life. What is right life?
And she said right to life.
No, she said right. She said white life. And as we were talking last week, remember we were like, okay, so I actually said, I was like, are we in fear of being extinct? Like, what's really going on is you're like, oh no abortions. No, you're going to have your child. This is what it's going to be. And just totally taken over. That's crazy.
Well, that's this was covered on major news networks also with Trump and the insurrection and white extremists infiltrating and really taking over the entire Republican Party, and how conservative broadcasting stations like Fox have perpetuated the extinction. That's probably not the correct word, but theory.
It's about to be.
Or the replacement. It's called the replacement theory, where they're going to be replaced. And really stoking the flames of fear and in that population. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? Yeah. I was like, she said exactly what she meant to say.
To say that.
And you know how you'll say something over and over and over again, and this is how you talk at the house, and then you accidentally say it publicly and be like, oops, I didn't mean to say that.
Listen, I don't care if it was a public speech or not. If it's something that you did not mean to say, you gonna correct it real quick. You'd be like, shoot real quick.
I don't think that she realized she actually said it
Exactly.
before. It came out like, she stumbled over it after she realized, like, probably her mind probably was like, oh my gosh, no, you did not say that.
Subconsciously, she meant to say it. That's why it came
Right.
out.
That's why it came out. The thought. That's what happens.
And I think that a lot of people were saying if it was truly an accident, she should have corrected herself within the speech and said, excuse me, right to life, excuse me, and kept on with her speech. A lot of people will correct themselves in the middle of the speech.
In the middle of
the speech.
Thank you. That's
Can't do
what
that.
So subconsciously, that's what she meant to say. That's what she meant. That's how she feels. Do you, sis? For real.
All right. Okay, let's get in here. Go ahead, because we got to move on. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I don't think it was really that, because we talked about how Black Lives Matter and the Black birth rate and Black children, and so I don't think it's necessarily offensive or wrong that some people are of that demographic are concerned about their population.
I mean, God bless me. True. You're true. That's right. True. All right, now let's move on. No, I'm like, now let's move on because we got to play catch up real quick. All right, Texas. Here we go again. Texas showing out. Go ahead, Nick. Represent your state. Represent your state that didn't tell slaves they was free for 2 whole years. Represent your state. And wait, represent your state to say, oh, okay, we can't say the word gay. Represent your state where educators decided we're not going to say slavery anymore. We're going to teach involuntary relocation.
Involuntary relocation, my butt. I'm going to say what I kids stay free. If I want to say gay, I'm going to say gay. They trying to put the governor out good.
Guess what, Amber D? They going to have Nick on involuntary relocation back to Ohio. What happened? They gonna put her on a plane, involuntary relocation. So what's happening is a group of Texas educators decide, and these are for your little ones, your elementary age. They propose using the term involuntary relocation instead of slavery. What's your thoughts?
No, absolutely not. Slavery is mentioned in the Bible. That's what it was. It's again with the white guilt, trying to and this is what their population is known for, trying to rewrite history, trying to edit things, pare down, add, subtract, and just paint a picture that is approving to them, that they find approving. And
to make them more comfortable?
That make them feel comfortable. Because the top priority is their comfort and not reality. And that's why the entire Republican Party is alternate reality and alternate facts. Like, what? But the other issue, just as far as like English language, is like you're completely discounting the fact, or it's not including the fact that they were forced to stay there. Involuntary relocation implies it was a singular incident. Like they were involuntarily relocated to this area, but then they kind of just chose to stay there. Like, no, they were forced to stay there. They were forced to work. And so I feel like the enforced to stay somewhere is not being included in that definition. So it's not even a good alternative to slavery. So
I just say call a spade a spade.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Nick. What you got?
I'm saying, but listen, that's exactly why we got to show up to show out. We can't let them rewrite our history at all. We have to fight to get our history into schools, and that's across the nation, period. Not just they need to be taught this. They need to know why we feel the way we feel, what's going on. They need to know these things. Stop trying to whitewash everything. And yes, I did say it, and I'll say it again. Y'all are whitewashing history, and you're going to stop it. Because, listen, you're not going to erase this.
Okay.
Even if you intermingle, it's not going to be erased.
And you know what? And the way that we prevent that from happening is educating our youth. Don't let them go for the okie doke. And yes, the whole rewriting everything, this whole term, involuntary relocation. Okay, that's what it is. But here's the thing. When you put it like that, it doesn't sound bad. So you just put a little bow on it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, let it be exactly what it is, because you don't want the younger generation to be like, oh, okay. Oh, it was just involuntary relocated. They relocated. They moved.
And they were forced to move. Not
right. They were
moved, forced to stay, and forced to work.
Right. So you're taking those harsh words and you're just putting a little bow on it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, not okay. I want to go to a comment that a viewer wrote. She put in there, as far as like we were talking about Roe versus Wade, and she said that I had so many disagreements about this issue. Her heart is broken to know that so many men jumped on the bandwagon, combining church and state. That's what I want to talk about. I agree with her 110%. And here's the issue. The people on the Supreme Court judges, the ones that voted, my problem was when we vote people into office, they're supposed to speak for us.
They don't.
And that's what's happening, because most of their beliefs it's what they personally believe their religion and how they were brought up. And that's against my religion. So no, I'm going to vote no on it because it's against my religion. So where's the separation? You know what I mean? And are you speaking for the multitude? No, you're not. You're speaking on your own personal experience. I was watching The View last week and Sunny spoke on that, and she's pro-life according to her religion. She's Catholic, I believe it was. And it's like, okay, that's your personal choice. And she said as an attorney, she has to really look at things. She said, and look at the rights. You know what I mean? So you have to remove yourself from your personal feelings and look at it as a whole. What are we doing with the rights of our people? Women's rights. Like, come on, work with me. Because if you think back, and I'm not going to go all the way back, but way back in the day, they used to have the big hats, and women used to use, instead of mace, they used to use pins, and the pin hats, and that was their weapon. And then men said, no. So y'all go read that and look and be like, okay, so no to the big hats, no to the pins, no, you can't use this. Why is that? And then, what's her name? Jean Schmidt. She's a state representative as well. She was talking about revisiting birth control, like Clarence Thomas. And look, every time I hear Clarence Thomas' name, I think about that pubic hair on that Pepsi can. Was it a Pepsi can? Alleged. Let me say that. Pepsi don't come for me. But it was on the can or something with the Anita Hill, so I'm still stuck on that part. Like, every time I hear his name, that's what he's known for. That's his legacy. Okay. And now he's sitting there trying to recreate it. But a female, she said she was going to go with revisit contraceptives. So I have to ask a question, which I asked before. What about the men? So do we take Viagra? Do they get a vasectomy? Like, if, you know what I mean? What are we doing?
Right.
You know, because think about it. We talked about married couples who may not be able to afford another child or, more children. So does he go get a vasectomy? Is it easier because you can't get and less expensive since you can't get an abortion in your state? Or the waiting list going to be long. It's probably going to be like Section 8, 2 to 3 year waiting list, baby born. You know what I'm saying? So what we going to do? Come on. And I know in the state of Ohio, it's 6 weeks. And remember, I was sharing that information as well. 6 weeks, that's about when you hit the heart rate. That's when you just found out. Like, what do you mean? Up to 6? Come on. You don't even know. But let's go. Let's touch it. The aura. The R. Kelly. Yes, sentenced to 30 years. And they said for sex trafficking. Now, we know, but go ahead. Just go ahead. And then I'll say what I got to say. I'll give you my spiel on R. Kelly. 30 years. Do you think he should have got 30 years?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, us as a people, here we go. Epstein, he got what? Work release?
He should have got 30 years.
But his trial, I thought his trial was still ongoing, and then he killed himself.
He got work release. Well, yeah, he did that. But here's the thing. Then you got, remember his partner, what's the chick's name that was bringing the little people over?
Oh, yeah.
She got 20 years.
Exactly. She should have got, listen.
Wait, let me, go ahead, Nick. She should have got what?
She should have got more than them because she was actually bringing the children to him. So so they should have given her more time than any of them.
Okay, because I think she had, when they ran it back, like 80 13-year-olds that she was bringing and grooming. Hey, let's go here. Let's do what we do. It's different. So as I was watching, and the reason I brought that up and I asked that question to you ladies regarding should he have gotten 30 years, I think so. He did over a 25-year span. He had chance after chance after chance to get his mind right. I understand he was, a victim himself, but he had so much time and so many warnings. Like, he was in court paying people off. Like, come on. So I believe he should have got 30. But I also believe the people that enabled him, the ones that turned on him, and they need to go. The participants.
Yes.
Just like this young lady. She was a participant. She got, Maxwell. That's her name. It's Maxwell. So if you are a participant, she got 20 years on being a participant.
Yep.
Bringing them. What about the people that was bringing them into him?
Well, I'm hoping that they're being prosecuted as well. They're,
Exactly.
their cases in progress.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Nick, because I didn't hear you. She was talking. Go ahead, Nick. What were you saying?
I was saying that some of those parents should get charged, especially the parents that knew of the issue the first time he went to trial about that. And you still decided to bring your child to this man hoping to get them their big dream. There's plenty of other people out there, plenty of other producers, plenty of other people connected that you could have gone to. And granted, sometimes in the entertainment world, they got their little stuff. But like you said, do your research. But if you willingly brought your child to this man, knowing he had just escaped trouble, you need to go down with him. You prostituted your own child.
So you feel as though the parents should be held accountable as well?
I'm right. Exactly. Because you willingly took your child to this man after the first incident that he was on trial for the same thing. So your child's well-being mentally and physically was worth a few dollars from this man. That's just every parent wants their child to live their dream. Was it their dream, or was it the parents' dream? Every parent wants their child to succeed, but you wanted it so bad that you willingly prostituted your child to a known pedophile. Man, get out of here. They all need to take their ass up under the jail. Period. Ding.
I have a theory.
Go ahead. What's your theory?
That this is going to continue of this really super harsh penalties for pedophilia because of also in conjunction with the abortion ban and like the population concerns and stuff like that. I remember I seen a case where this was a white woman. She received 50 years from a white female judge for prostituting her 11-year-old daughter.
Right. Yeah.
And she was like, "You're a monster. You're sick, and you should rot. I'd give you more time if I could."
Well, they gave him more time. You see that? Because it was like 25. That judge said, "Oh, give him an extra 5. Like, I had enough."
Yeah. So I think you're going to see more and more of it. And I do believe that the rest of his team is going to be prosecuted. And as far as the Ghislaine Maxwell, I feel like another theory, it's not being covered by major news media because of her black book. Why? If the name's been released.
Listen.
Up in there.
Listen. That's why I have my own thoughts on how did he kill himself or was he killed? Because everybody about to be released.
Yeah.
Now, there was a thing going around because they were talking about Jay-Z alleged, hear me clear, was with, Beyonce, and she was young. And then you had R. Kelly, and then, of course, they put Aaliyah up there when she was young. Here's the common denominator here. They were older. They like young girls, but they married them. The difference is, to Nick's point, and not saying nothing to her people, Aaliyah people was like, "Oh, absolutely not." Her parents was like, no. So they saw something going on and they were not okay with it. Even when they suspected something. You remember that whole thing? And if you look at the documentary, they kind of touch base on that. Then you have Beyonce. She got married once she got over 18. Smart. Key. But I believe that the parents should be held accountable when you know. Like when you know. And you have to ask the question that Nick asked. Was it for their personal gain? So you pimping your child For what? And I told y'all before, dude told who he was. He said he was the Pied Piper. Y'all got to read the story about the Pied Piper.
Right. Which is quite dark.
Listen. And what?
It's scary.
And what? And how's he getting his money from them children following when he playing? Come on. The man tells you. And I'm like, I'm the Pied Piper, y'all. Now, I don't know. They say like with serial killers, they want to be caught, serial rapists, serial pedophiles. He was screaming
to put themselves out there.
Listen, man, you play a R. Kelly track. You gonna hear him the Pied Piper. Like, what's his name that's known for, and another one. What's his name?
J.D. Khaled.
Yeah, DJ Khaled, yeah. So that's what he's known for. Now you get R. Kelly. He's known as the Pied Piper. He's telling you. And it's like, and you're still okay with that? And at some point, see me, I'm sorry, when you tell me who you are with Maya Angelou, when they tell you when they show you who they are, believe them?
Believe them.
This cat told y'all who he was. And in my mind, I'm like, well, he said this is who he is. So let me see exactly what that is. Even if I don't know, let me look that up. Y'all know I'm look. Oh, hold on. Let me see. So, Nick, I'm with you. Yes, those parents need to be prosecuted.
Exactly.
And then it didn't go their way. So then they want to speak out talking about we can't talk to our child. He won't let us talk to her. You sold your child.
You sold the child. So therefore, all that bitch effort.
Look, but that was called voluntary relocation.
Exactly.
It just didn't go that way. Boom.
And what about Michael Jackson?
Now, we ain't bringing up Michael Jackson. Now, don't you go too far now.
I don't think he actually was messing with the kids. He just was still in a childlike mind because of how he grew up, because of his father, the way he...
But you got the R with his problem. Remember, he was molested. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Let's keep it 100. Yes, you have those people who had issues. You had those people who were messed with. I had somebody live on the show probably about 10 years ago. And I asked him that question. He was molested. He shared his story. It was heartbreaking. And then I asked him, have you assaulted anybody? And he could not answer me. Actually, he was looking at me and he was looking at me. I knew the answer. I said, don't answer. Because guess what? Me personally, I cannot not do anything, especially with my little people. I don't play when it comes to them.
Right.
So I was like, I don't even want, never mind. Just scratch that question because it wasn't you don't get that quick response. So don't say nothing. No. Get some help. That's all I could do. I ain't have nobody in the back like the big shows. We gonna have you talk to Dr. Jeffrey and all of them. You know what I mean? I'm like, get some help. I dialed the number to the person I know. Boom. Here's an appointment. Like, go get some help. Please get some help. Because it does have a lasting effect. Even we know, like, even relationships, they have lasting effects. So it's like, here you go. Does that excuse their behavior and to mess up other people? Absolutely not. The point I was trying to make with R. Kelly, as far as like his time, I've noticed us as black people, we are such a forgiving people, even though we know what went on. So I'm glad you guys still said the 30 years. Once, watching and communicating, once they found out that the white people got less time, they felt that he should have had less time. Then your boy Lil Boosie on there crying, sir, stop it. But you guys said they should have got 30. Yes.
30 as well.
Yes.
So Lil Boosie, if you remember the situation with Lil Boosie, he can go. I'm not surprised he's crying because he's problematic himself and whatever he was doing with his son. So.
Oh yeah, when he was allowing his son, he was get prostitutes and all that stuff. Alleged.
So that's pimping. That sounds like pimping to me. And living through your kid.
That's a mess.
An absolute mess, and it's disgusting. Just like you're seeing in these cases of black women molesting little black boys, and they're all up in arms over it. You ought to be all up in arms when a black man is allowing his black son to be molested by a professional woman.
Yeah, goes both ways, and the
Both
thing
ways.
Nick, go ahead to the comments. Want to read the comment?
Sorry, y'all.
Hey, come on.
Okay, R. Kelly is hit. He will be, in his late 70s or 80s when he's released. I do believe his entire team will be prosecuted as well. I agree. Some parents need time too. Thank you, Annette Williams. Thank you very much, ma'am. Exactly. The parents need to be right along with him.
But he's not done.
Much time.
Yeah, but he's not even done, you know.
Exactly.
So he got to go to his home state. He's still getting sentences.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first one.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's done.
Now they're saying
a lot of full sentence.
now they're saying that they have him on suicide watch. And then I saw something that came across my desk that said he said that the place was lying. That's what you do. Now I got to put this up because this is what I do. Suicide prevention. Let me put this up. Put this banner, suicide prevention, 1-800-273-8255. Got to do what I do. Sir, you should have been getting help a long time ago. I don't know, a pedophile's mind. I don't know a molester's mindset. But if you're going to go, I want to kill myself, because what happens, what they say, as far as is it a myth that if you mess with children and you go to jail, blah, 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 A, B, C, and D. Is it a myth? It could be and it could not be, depending on where you are. Okay? But you cannot, the cop out, I want to kill myself. So you sitting there, it used to be butt naked in paper. You get the paper gown. I used to be like, don't sweat, because that paper was going to tear on you, okay? And you're like, okay, well, I want to go into PC protective custody. It's like, dude, this is what you did, and you could deny it, even though they already found him guilty. He just got his sentence. It's like, come on. But you have so many people that still believe that he's innocent, and then you have those that believe he's guilty. There was somebody that said, after so many people, it was like, you got the teens that saying the same exact story. I believe it's true. The incident with the quarterback for the Browns? That they said he was going to the parlor and praying for prostitution. I can't think of his name right now. Him. And you had different people that were saying, well, yeah, he did this, he did that. But you do have people who will all get together for a payday. So you have those parents, like you were saying, that'll prostitute their child. And then you have those that'll come and collaborate a story to get paid. You know what I mean? So it's like, which way do you go? How do you know who's telling the truth? I tell you who know. On Judgment Day, he got an answer to that. Mm-hmm. You got to answer to that. And what you gonna tell? What you gonna tell God? What you gonna tell your God? Let me be clear, because I don't, I want to be all inclusive with everyone except Satan. I ain't with you. I got to put that out there. But what are you gonna? You know what I mean? So people know the truth. And then when you brought up my dude Michael Jackson, you gotta meet your maker. We know. It's like, okay, we can pass judgment if we choose to. We can have our opinion and go from there. But what I will tell you is that when you do wrong, I just got to say it. When you do wrong and you get up there so high, because let's be real, your basic Joe Blow from under the bridge, people are like, oh yeah, I don't know that guy. It's like, okay, whatever. But you get up so high, you're in this organization, you're doing this, you're doing that, up so high, the harder you fall. What they say, the bigger you are, the harder you fall? Pay attention to the people around you. And you even have like a lot of people in church. These, the leaders. And it's like, okay, you singing praise and worship and you doing what with your child? And your child is there and you have to keep that quiet. And I'm sure that most of us know someone who was molested, didn't know at the time, and then afterward find out. You be like, oh my gosh, and you start thinking back like, man, the facade, the mask you had to wear. It's something. Don't play with my little people. Look, I'm mad about that now. The other ones with the R. Kelly, 25 years doing that. Boom. Go ahead with you. Do your 30 if that's what you did. And my thing is,
stars, when they get so big, is they have all these yes men around them because yes men want to keep their job. You need to have that one person to be like, nah, wrong. Like that one.
And that's the one to be fired. But guess what? Be fired with some morals.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nah, dog, I can't get down like this. If you wrong, no, you need that one person. And obviously, R. Kelly did not have that one person in his camp. Everybody was a yes man. Everybody. So every last one.
Well,
guess what? I'm just gonna put it out there, y'all. Listen, us three, we Shop Top Smith, we small our listeners, but guess what? The big dogs listening to us too, because there are things that we talk about that gets repeated.
Oh, you know that.
I want y'all to hear me and hear me. Funny, y'all need to have 30 years as well. You need to shit cut off, excuse me, and whatever else. You need it sold up, however, whatever. You all need, and y'all hear me well, because it's going to get to you. Nick the Voice said you need to be put under the jail as well, starting with the parents.
Yeah.
To your child, so let's just do what it do. Listen, we ain't got time for calls coming. But let's just do what it do. They need it all. R. Kelly tell on everybody. Go ahead, just sing like the birds.
Well, you know what? Right, go on and sing. Go on, you can fly.
Guess what? You ain't got nothing but time.
But here's the thing, though. But here's the thing. You get your top guy, so all the rest of them are gotten because they don't have the funds. But there was in the one documentary, I don't know what part it was, where it was some people that were terminated that spoke. Because they were like, it wasn't right. And they were like, okay, you could get out of here because you're not the yes man. I got to say for the wife that spoke. Yeah, okay, she was a part of it, but you just as guilty too. You said you went downstairs and you saw that. Guess what? Bye. Put her on work release. I'm like, and then you coming out and then you felt like you was, I am distraught. I'm this, I'm that. Why you still rocking the last name? I'd have been like, my children got the name. I'm out. So you still clout chasing. If you don't want to be a part of him and he's disgusting, get a name back.
Yeah.
Your children are grown. If they were still in school, okay, I got you, but get out of here.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because, when you're listening to the other side's opinions and perspectives, I feel like I hear a lot of men who are like, oh, they should lower the age of consent. 16's okay, even 13 is okay. This is from a very specific group of people.
Uh-huh.
Put that out there. Talking about 13 is not that young and it's old enough to consent because they're post-puberty.
Hey, that's back in the day, everybody was having babies when they was younger, but listen, these people don't know. Look, they don't know. They're going to have to answer. And we're going to go on ahead. Let's move on to the next topic that we know is real. Go, Nick. Let's talk about McDonald's.
Yeah, listen. That viral video, just for those of you that have not seen it, there is I seen partial of it. A mother with 4 children and her youngest child, the father, brought his child McDonald's. And I guess she would let the child have McDonald's because he didn't bring food to the other 4 now.
Okay, wait. Now, you remember, growing up, if you don't have enough for all, you can't have it. If you ain't got 4 cookies, don't nobody get a cookie. All right, but go ahead, Nick. Go ahead with it.
He's not obligated. He's not obligated to provide for those other children.
Okay, if you want in on this conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 619-902-2287, 619-902-2287. So there was we don't know if it's true or false, but we know it is because I've witnessed stuff like this, okay? So we know it's factual because it came from somewhere. Do you think the guy was wrong for bringing his child, his BM, his child baby mom? She had more than one child. The children were hungry. He brings food for his child, but not her other children. Do you feel as though that he is obligated to bring all her other children McDonald's as well? Nick the Voice said no.
What you mean? Let me finish. He's not obligated. No, he's not. But because he was in a relationship with her prior and he knew whatever was going on, then other fathers need to step up too. But he should have been like, brought them something, bought them at least a cheeseburger or fried share or something. Or take your child to McDonald's. Come on, I'm going to come get baby and ride with me for a minute. Take your child to McDonald's. But yes, if you knew the situation, he's not obligated, but because children don't ask to be here, children don't ask to be in situations, then yes, sir, if you want to be nice, if you just want to cater to yours, you should have picked yours up and took yours to McDonald's and left it at that. But if you knew them kids was hungry and the mammy was trifling, because clearly she is, and I said it and I'm going to say it again, come for me, please, ma'am. I want you to. But,
come on, I got to move. All right, go ahead, Amber. What's your thoughts?
Okay, so a couple things. So technically, no. Morally, yes. I treat my nieces and nephews the same way, and I didn't even give birth to them kids. But if they're with me, and I'm getting my one kid something, I gotta get all the kids are with me. We get equal treatment. Oh well, there's 15 kids. Well, that means you only get 50 cents worth of stuff because I'm on a budget. You know what I'm saying? But I would never do that. But that's morally. Now he's trifling because you can get a burger at McDonald's for $1. So he's trifling. She's trifling too for letting all these men run up in her and nut up in her and. Clearly ain't betting none of them because they sorry. All of her baby daddies are. Her intention was to embarrass him. She embarrassed herself, and all the adults in that situation are an embarrassment. Okay, and the children are suffering, just like the children was hungry, and some of them children didn't get to eat. But the fault of is the mom for not protecting her womb and having standards and not letting a bum impregnate her, because they're all bums if they kids is out here going hungry and they expected another man that did not birth their kids to feed their kids, and then he's sorry because a burger at McDonald's is $1. And if he's that hard up, he shouldn't be having no kids no way. Like all the parents in this situation is an embarrassment and they're trifling.
Okay, go ahead, Nick. Go to the comment. Read the comment. Okay, go ahead, Amber. Read the comment.
I feel that he is not obligated to feed her other children, especially if he is not in a relationship with her at the time. That is a matter of choice, not obligation. Exactly. It's a choice, but I think morally, you know what I'm saying? It's these women having multiple babies by multiple men. I mean, this is why it's a problem. You don't have baby with somebody that is not your husband.
Okay, watch this.
He don't owe you nothing.
Okay, watch this. Watch this. What if he did not have enough?
My third point: if he is struggling that much that he can't spare $4 for 4 burgers for some hungry babies that are his, you doing something wrong as a man.
But no. Let's not point out the flaw and the fault. We got that. What if he did not have enough for hers?
If he didn't have it, then he didn't have it. But she was presenting it from what I've read. First of all, that's the other thing I want to point out what Nick mentioned. She wouldn't let him take the one child. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly. So, and that's why he couldn't, that's why he didn't take just his kid. But yeah, if he didn't have it, he didn't have it. And that's why I said she came out here embarrassing herself. Why are you letting a broke man impregnate you, boo-boo? What?
Now here's my thing. This is what I'm going to say. Okay. I'm looking like, no, you had them prior. I understand your point. You had them prior And you telling me that you called me and said my child is hungry. Okay, so I'm going to go over there and I'm going to make sure that my child is not hungry. Now watch this. Let's flip it. If she were a dude who got 8 children, okay, you were the dude, he got 8 children altogether, and I'm just going over the top because, you know, I'm the antagonist. And he called and say, your son is hungry. Is she expected to, it don't even have to be 8, it can be the 4. Is she expected to buy food for all the other ones? Because there's a lot of men out there raising their children. Is she expected to buy food for his others?
No, but I think
That's
she's
crazy.
more likely to do it on her own free will, not an expectation. You know what I'm saying?
But it's interesting how, as a female, if it's a mother that got these extra children, oh, that was wrong, he need to do this, he's sorry, he bop, 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 bop. But if you flip it, because again, you have a lot of fathers who raise their children and may have theirs, and he's dating somebody, and okay, well, your daughter is hungry. And is she expected? As females, are we expected to do the same thing? No.
Well, no, and I think
It's always an
we're
excuse.
expected to buy. We're not expected to buy, but expected to cook. Like if he bought
For all his other children with other mothers.
Yeah. If a woman is dating a man with 8 kids, and he goes,
No, not dating. If she has a child with a man who has 8.
right, and he's like, your one kid that you and I got together is hungry.
I don't have no food and he's hungry.
I don't have no food, and so he has the food, but he wants her to cook it, and
You changing it. You're changing the whole thing. No, your child is over there with this guy. He has 3 other children, and he say, I don't have any money, and we don't have any food, and Lacey, I'm just throwing out a name, is hungry.
I would still do it. I would buy ramen noodles ramen noodles is 79 cents.
Oh, no, they not, girl. No, they ain't no more, girl. They done went up. Child, listen here. Not no more.
Right, but no, I would still do it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a mother. Maybe it's because I'm a female. But they're children, and they're hungry. And when we talk about the basic level of needs, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Now, you know what?
If he couldn't afford McDonald's, he could have got him a $3-4 pack of ramen noodles.
Now, I'll tell you this. I remember my aunt, we used to, after church, she would want to go to McDonald's or something. She would buy like a Happy Meal, we split it. I remember those days.
Or 2 as a child, split that burger in half.
I remember those.
That's what I'm saying. Come on now. Come on. If he don't, yeah, I remember splitting hamburgers in half with my siblings. So he trifling, she trifling,
Everybody trifling. Except McDonald's, right? Look, except McDonald's. Oh, you got some McDonald's. And that was a treat to go to a fast food restaurant. It was a treat. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the comment. Okay. All right. So Key Nicole says, but that wouldn't be enough these days. Everybody gonna be thin. Ain't gonna no.
We have an obesity problem in this country, particularly in the Black community, so it's probably a good thing. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's go to Annette's comment. Go ahead, Amber.
So Annette White Edwards Williams said these ladies need to be more responsible for who/what they are, quote unquote, laying down with and producing babies with, period.
Oh, it's a T at the end of that. Period.
Excuse me. Period.
We should have let Nick. Nick should have read that one. Nick should have read that one.
You know, that's my favorite thing, period.
Yes. We should have had Nick read that one. But I mean, we got to look at it both ways. And it's really interesting that you have a lot of the females like, that's wrong. That's wrong. You chose to hide those children. And here's what's interesting to me. I'm with Annette. I'm with Annette on this one, because just because you kick it with somebody or you sleep with somebody, you ain't got to have a souvenir. Like, I know.
Right.
The only way somebody knows if I told them or if you told them, but then, cats be lying. I don't know, do they still be lying?
Yes, they do.
Oh, terrible. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But listen, I ain't about to have a whole souvenir, like, boom. And like the gift to keep on giving, that's almost like somebody buy you a gift. You buy me a gift for Christmas and I got to make the car note. Hold on. No. Is it a gift or is it not? Like, you been there, bam, we know what happened. No souvenirs, no responsibility, and let it go. So yes, women have to be held accountable. Now, just what you said, Amber, put him out there trying to make him look bad. You made yourself look right crazy. And I'm sure somebody on here, the trollers, somebody in the basement, on their mama's brown couch that was out on the street, from way back when or something, is probably calling children's services. A neighbor is like, okay, they don't even have food over there, but you know how things are going right now in the world, and I got to keep you entertained. No formula. No free school lunches. So what's really going to happen to this situation?
CPS.
She got eyelashes, makeup done in her.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. The life makes me stupid.
You got me.
Here, you can survive off of rice, potatoes, get you some grits if you eat grits or whatever. There's a few things that you can get to, and I'm quite sure she got EBT. But sis, your hair was on point, your makeup was on point, your nails was on point, your eyelashes was on point, but you hollering about this man getting just y'all's child McDonald's, and I don't play that this and that. Baby, how about playing looking like a struggling mother that's trying to make sure she feed her kids? Ain't nobody saying that every now and then you can't dress yourself up, but baby, if that was an issue, you ain't got no business with your nails, your eyelash, them back wings, and everything else on point.
Because that lash glue is $1.07. Remember I told y'all about my change?
I was about to say that.
You remember I told you about my change they ain't give me?
You can get eyelashes from $1 to $1. So at the very least, some eyelashes.
You got a $1 menu.
And a McDonald's burger is $1. Boo boo.
Boom, there you go. What? Say it again. Thank you.
$1.
How you menu? Listen. These lace front wigs and the bundles and stuff cost a lot of money. To get your face beat, unless you know how to do it yourself, costs a lot of money. But still, you still got to buy the makeup. And if you get the good makeup, it costs a lot of money. Even if you get the cheap makeup, that's still a couple meals. That's still some vegetables. That's still a bag of potatoes.
Annette is reading my mind. Go ahead, Amber. Go to the comments.
Annette Y. Edwards-Williams says, but they want these ladies to have more babies, and they can't take care of the ones they have now. Bloop, bloop. Okay, and then we got the whole outrage from these men who talk about abortion and talking about they're saying, the womb is the most dangerous place for a black male. When they out here forcing women to have abortions, when they're out here paying for women to have abortions, when they out here killing women that refuse to have abortions because they don't want to pay child support, bye, boo. Bye. Get out of here.
If they don't want no kids, get a vasectomy.
Wear a condom.
Wear a condom.
Well, they about to do away. I told y'all. Y'all that wasn't listening to the show. I told y'all that Clarence is trying to get contraceptives off, and so is Jean Schmidt, the representative. She trying to get it off too.
Listen, that's with all that. They now we living they're going towards communism. So you try the United States to communist states, the communist country. That's what we're doing now.
Well, your boy wanted it a dictatorship, so
right.
Try to still get back up in there. So
what? And you know what? I read a comment from a man, and it said, I'm amazed at the restraint of women they haven't started burning everything down. And I said, okay, because if men carried babies, how would the story be different? Crazy.
They'll make sure they have McDonald's for their baby. We know that. they would have had McDonald's for theirs. We got that part together.
Right.
All right, listen, I got to put this out here. Shout out to Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She was sworn in. So I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to see how things will potentially change.
Actually, I don't think they will because she's a liberal judge replacing a liberal judge, and the Supreme Court justice is still out of balance and is being radicalized.
It'd probably be that one off, like that 6-4 type thing.
Exactly.
It probably will. But
I'm excited for her too. I think she's a great representation for Black women. I'm so proud. Very proud of her. And her dreadlocks are fire.
Just put that out there. They better be. They better be.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous.
I'm glad my girl, my Shop Talk listener caught that. Yes, I said it. Dictatorship. It's crazy. It's like it's a man's world. It's a man's world. And it wouldn't be nothing. James Brown, DJ, play that. Like, what the heck? Would be nothing without a woman or a girl. And it's like we just get the bad end of the stick all around. Just like that woman. Now, that woman, she was wrong. Trying to put him out there talking about what he did. And that wasn't right that he did that to his child. And I'm sure that sounded like somebody older mother probably said that, if you can't buy none for all of them, they don't need to buy none for one. That's almost like this situation. Let's say they didn't have beds. Because we look at McDonald's, it's like minor. They didn't have beds. And your brother buys his child a bed and not the other ones. What's your thoughts? And they're no longer together. What's your thoughts?
They can all sleep on the bed. They little people.
Or do you say, no, if you can't buy beds for all of them, then don't buy beds for none?
She tripping.
Yeah, that's a little bit far-fetched. What you need to do is put your foot in the other baby daddy's behind, or go ahead and do what you got to do at the court and let, quote-unquote, as they say, the white man make that decision in, since it got to be like that.
Well, I have a solution. Dudes, if she got other children, y'all need to get that stipulated ahead of time and don't be dropping off no souvenirs over there if she got other children and you're not going to be able to take care of all of them, because that's what women are wanting now. You got to be able to take care of all of them. Even though when you come on the scene, it's, okay, I got mine. You ain't got to worry about that, because here's the deal, which is really interesting. You probably had them before they came on the scene. You was doing everything, taking care of yours. And they was like, oh, okay, that's a good mother. Boom. If something happened, I'm all good. And then you'd be like, oh, nope, it ain't working. Now I don't want to because you're here. Or you find that good guy and you be like, oh, okay, this is a good guy. He gonna be a good dad to all of mine. And a lot of guys don't realize that there's women out there that will look at a guy and be like, oh, okay, he'll be a good dad to all of mine. All 3, 4, 5. Because you got to look at that, honestly, if you plan on planning the future. And as a female, we're looking at the future. Guys aren't. And I'm going to let you go ahead on that. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's on my mind right now. Marriage. When you look at marriage, as a female, we looking at it as a beginning, as a start. Men are looking at it as an end. Because think about all the things they have to stop if they get married. But our minds look at it as the beginning. We're starting life. We're getting ready to get married. We're going to have these children. We're going to do blah, 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 blah. Where as a man, and I read and talked to a few of my homies, as a man, they're looking at, I'm getting ready to get married. I got to stop kicking it and partying. I got to be a provider. I got to do this. So it's a beginning for us, but an end to them. So men, be careful who you lay down with, because the trap is real. Go ahead.
I like good.
Go, Nick.
I was going to say, listen, to this whole type of story, my brother was one of those now. And I got to give my oldest niece, my brother's oldest daughter's mom, props. She had older children. She bomb provider. She never once expected my brother to step up and be a father to her older children. And my brother was taught well, because he stepped up and he did. And he made sure when he provided for his, he provided for them. if he was not able to provide for them whatever he bought.
Morally, you would.
So, yeah, that's why I said, is he obligated? No, he is not. Did he take that responsibility on? Yes, he did. And I love my sister-in-law because once she came into the fold with her oldest child and she realized, that my brother was taking care of children that did not belong to him, she did not. Because, you have some females be like, we married now, they ain't your kids, we take care of yours. She did not get in the way of that because she said, what kind of woman would I be to come in and stop what was going on before I came into the picture?
Bigger than that. That's probably why she married him. Because I see the type of person you are and I have a child, and guess what? I know that you're doing good over there. I know I'm going to be all right. Go ahead, Amber, what's your thoughts?
So I think that definitely for men, they should. And I think that, again, like you said, that's something you need to get clear about in the beginning. And if you're a woman and you're dating and you're looking for a man, you should, and I personally do this. My situation's different. My husband passed away. But, so there's not like he's a bum on the corner and that's why.
Or you're going to have baby daddy drama.
I don't have baby daddy drama. But I make it very clear, like, yeah, I'm looking for a stepfather for my son. My son needs a man in his life. And that's like, if that's not something you're comfortable doing, then this ain't going to work between me and you. So, but the woman should be upfront about it, and the man should be upfront about it. There shouldn't be. It should be real clear. And like Nick was saying, a good man will volunteer. You know what I'm saying? Especially if y'all are in a relationship together. I understand McDonald's situation. They were no longer together, but he knew she had multiple kids, and he was cool with it. And then he turned around and made a baby with her. That was his choice. And then as far as marriage goes, I'm gonna throw it out there, and I think it's a certain demographic that feels like marriage is the end, because other demographics of men, I don't think, view marriage that way. Like, yes, but women are losing things in marriage too, especially like how we talked about, we got women paying their
I'll help you with the demographic. It was 3 middle-aged white guys.
So
I'm going to help you with the demographic.
And I think that it's a mindset thing, but I generally don't think all men or most men look at it as just a loss, because I
didn't say a loss. I didn't say a loss. It's an end.
It's an end. As an ending.
The things that they have to stop doing. So
right, but you're gaining things too. It's a
what?
It's an exchange.
Okay. Because we're gonna go to the comments real quick. Carly Lee said, I agree to disagree. Please elaborate. Call in and voice your opinion live. The phone number here is 619-902-2287. Or if you can type text and all that other stuff really good, go ahead and handle that. The other comment, Kim Richardson, she said marriage is beautiful, but it is definitely a benefit for men more than women. The only thing women truly reap from marriage is a sense of security, my opinion. I love her opinion. Go ahead, Amber.
And studies back it up. Men live longer when they're married. So it's true. That's just what it is. They live longer when they're married. So it's definitely a benefit. And I think if a man is, and I think the other part of it, like what you're talking about, is when they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when a man is ready, he's ready to commit, period. And until he's ready, he ain't ready, and that's all there is to it. And there's a lot of women be trying to force a man that's not ready to be ready.
Okay, Nick, you want to go to the comment?
Yes, a good man would just do it. I have him.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. She got hers. All right. Go ahead, Amber. Comment.
Annette White Edwards Williams says, amen. My quote-unquote stepfather stepped in and he raised me. My father lived in PA, murdered while I was in AF. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. But I thank him. He always considered, quote-unquote, me his.
Was his AF Air Force? I think.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know, because this generation changing all the words. So you already know. I'm like, AF, wait, well.
All right, that's what I'm sorry. I don't know what AF means. Yeah.
Okay, and Kim Richardson said, indeed, she has him also.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Okay, she'll probably elaborate, but we ain't gonna stay on that. Look, we ain't gonna stay on that last move. Oh, wow. So Little Boosie, for those of you who don't know Little Boosie, that's the one that was giving Nas X the headaches and all that other stuff because he was pretty much, I don't want to say that he's anti-gay, but he does come off that way. So that's just my opinion, okay? And him being upset with R. Kelly, his time that he got, his sentence. And Amber D spoke about the things that he allegedly did. Yes, it was Air Force. AF is Air Force. So Amber D spoke about what he was exposing his son to, women. Now, I want to go into that a little bit more because here's a dad and he's exposing his son to professional women, ladies of the night. What if he didn't like that experience? Because we don't know yet so much that he exposed him to that since he comes off as anti-gay, in my opinion, okay? You heard me. The view of Mel is not the views of the co-host on Shop Talk with Mel. That you're like forcing this on this young man and he getting fellatio performed on him. What if he doesn't like it and he decide he likes the other way? How do you think his response will be?
Very negative. And I think that it's important to point out when you're talking about like minor sexual experiences, like sexual interactions with minors, them liking it is, in my opinion, and from what I remember, it's irrelevant because, you know, your body responds to stimulation and that doesn't mean it's psychologically appropriate for that child to be experiencing. So them having a positive reaction to that sexual encounter doesn't mean that it was okay.
Okay.
And I think if he found out his son was not heterosexual, he would be like into the what is it, those boot camps, those conversion therapy camps.
That man to lose his mind.
Right. Turn him into a serial killer. I don't think it would end well.
Gay.
Do you think he would lose his mind?
Ooh, girl, listen, the way he be going off, yeah, he would absolutely lose his mind and just die.
Yeah.
All right, I was having a discussion, and I'm sure most of the listeners probably saw it, heard about it, anything, you know, something like that. But my discussion that I was actually speaking of was the guys being picked over out here in these streets. Yeah, they was handing it to me. I was at a restaurant. We were actually talking about it. So, yeah, they were handing it to me. And I was like, ladies, keep your man. Keep your spouse. Because these dudes out here are picked over. Out in these streets. What's your thoughts to that, Nick? Keep your spouse if you can. That was what I said.
Some of these spouses is picked over. Yeah.
But you chose to marry him, though. See, that's the difference. You chose to marry him. But you have people who will leave their spouse thinking it's better. You know, the grass is greener on the other side. And wait, the grass is greener on the other side. And then you get over there and find out it's turf.
Exactly. The grass ain't never greener on the other side. That's what people fail to realize, especially when you're in a marriage. You think you leave it for, but then you have some instances where, you know, but that's far and few in between. But yeah, you're right. The dating selection is horrible, especially when you get to be our age.
Okay. All right. You about right. It's like picking fruit. You know, or going through the fruit in the grocery store. You be like, that's bruised. You know, they be... And it's real talk, because if you look at that in that analogy, you're like, okay, that one, I don't like nothing bruised. That's like, I don't know, what's going to be good? You know, what's going to be good on the peach? You got to, you know, on the side, like that's it, you know. The banana, that's brown. Like, what are you willing to put up with? And that's pretty much what that comment was for. Go ahead. Have you found it? Have you found that they're all picked over out here in these streets, Amber D?
More so picked over. Yes, but what I was going to say, instead of the fruit analogy, I was wanting to go with the grass analogy.
Go ahead.
And so, like, you thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and I do feel like the grass is or can be greener. But it's greener because another woman was fertilizing and watering it and taking care of. Just like we talk about how women will sit here and build up a man and heal a man and teach a man and speak life into him for him to take all that goodness and give it to another woman. They do that. That's real. So when you come across a good man who's reflected and learned and he's healed and all that stuff, another woman put that into him. Another woman helped and facilitated that. So you can find better grass, but acknowledge and appreciate that his previous woman was a big part of that.
So should we call her up?
Some people have good relationships with their exes. So and it can be beneficial. It can be. It depends on the situation. But that was my perspective. Yeah, the grass can be greener, but just you know what I'm saying, because there's competition between women. You know what I'm saying? Also realize that probably, you know, his previous relationship, his previous woman probably put up with a lot of stuff, went through a lot of stuff with him, and in the end, he came out a better man. But she went through a lot with him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the grass can be greener, but that's from another woman.
Well, maybe they weren't the two.
They weren't what?
Maybe they weren't the two. Like, you could be with somebody and you can, like you said, another woman fertilized it. Okay, well, maybe she was just too much like his mother. And he was like, I'm not trying to marry my mother. You know what I mean? And then he finds somebody else. And then it's like, I did all that. Almost like, what is that? Waiting to exhale. I did all that and did ba, 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 ba. And have a sense of you owe me or entitlement. And it's like, no, this person comes in and she's praising him. And that's what he needed, the accolades, not the one that was there that told him, now you're going to get to work and browbeating him. You need to do A, B, C, and D. Yes, she's making him successful. But do I really want to be married to a boss? Do I really want to be married to my mom? That's making me wake up in the morning to get to work. That's making me do the research at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, you wake up, it's 4 o'clock. Let's go. Let's eat breakfast. Or do you want to have fun? It's like, I made it. Now I'm ready to enjoy.
Right. And I think also a lot of women like this, because tomorrow is not promised to nobody, is when you're giving love and you're helping build someone with the expectation of a return. And true love, you know, doesn't expect a return. The return isn't demanded, right? And so when then you don't get the return back, you all in your feelings and bitter about it. But if you're like, no, I gave this love freely and it's okay, the expectation, the need is not there for it to be reciprocated, I'm not going to be bitter and hurt and messed up because I didn't get it back.
Watch this. How do you know that you gave that love freely? This is how. A lot of people don't pay attention. Have you ever dated somebody and they told you everything they did for you?
Woo! Yeah.
Boom. Then guess what? That person was expecting, had expectations, something in return.
Right.
When you're like with me, I can't remember nothing. I'll never have nothing to come back with. Because I can't. I'm like, I know I did something. I don't remember what, but I know I did. You know? Like, oh, you just said, no, I know I did something. No. Yeah. That's because there was no expectation. I did it freely.
And I just wanted to point out that I'm not saying you should date with no expectations or you should give with no expectations. I'm saying be like we was talking about with McDonald's. You be clear from the beginning. This is what my expectations are. You know, if I do this, I'm gonna need you to do this back to me or whatever. Like, communicate, be very honest and clear. But like, as far as love goes and pouring into somebody, no. If it's real, you don't expect a return. You just doing it because it's in your heart to do it. But don't date with no expectations. I'm not saying that.
Now, I heard you, but there's some people that be like, I be like, dang. And then I'm like, I know I did a whole lot more. Like, should I be taking notes every time I do something? You know what I'm saying? So it changed the dynamics. And you're right. When you are in relationships, you learn. And you remember certain things that you didn't like. Like, well, should I, just in case we have an argument, should I be writing this down that we went to dinner and I paid? And this was the amount, you know what I mean? Should I be tallying up the tab? I gotta also mention this for my ladies out there. How often has a man been so direct with a female and said what he did not want and told you his expectations? I'm not ready to settle down, but she chooses to deal with whatever he delivering. Okay, she chooses to take it and receive it. But she wants more. And then you want to go out there and bully everybody else that he talked to when he told you off top, I'm not trying to be in a relationship. Be committed. So speak to that.
I think lots of women have had this experience. It's a hard experience to learn, and that it's a hard lesson to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, it's accountability, being honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I think from my own personal experience, it's that you're focusing on your emotions and the intensity of your emotions. And then so that gives you confidence in the future. Like, yeah, we got this right now, but in the future, like, I like him so much and everything's so great right now. I know his feelings are going to change. Or I'm going to love on him so good. Of course, his feelings are going to change, and we're going to do this. Like, you're projecting, like you talk about, Mel, into the future. You thinking about the future. You're not thinking about in the moment what's happening right now. Not only that, you're not actually listening to him. And you know, men say that's what women really struggle with. And I think it's true because it's a part of our makeup. Like, it's something you have to intentionally grow beyond, to listen, hear what he's saying. And either you can accept it and then not hope, but like give it to God. If y'all are meant to have a future, give it to God. And
so soon as he leaves, you hold his shirt and pray on it.
release it to God, to the universe, or whatever you believe in, and enjoy the moment and accept the moment. But definitely, yeah, I think that's what that is.
You want to speak to that, Nick?
And you just focus on how you feel. It's great. When you're in love, it feels great, right? Everybody loves feeling in love. Everybody
loves love.
Everybody loves love. It's amazing to feel love and to get that feeling when you're talking to somebody, right? But you're just thinking about your feelings. You're not thinking about his feelings. You're thinking about how he's making you feel.
What? Nick, you want to speak to that?
Speak to God. That's the only thing you can do. Because once you let go, if it is meant,
it'll be.
You, what is you, like you said, what is meant for you is for you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not there, just once you let go and let God, there are no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Ain't no more pain, nothing. You just let it go.
Yeah. But you know what? And like I said, it might not be for you it might be for you, but not at that moment.
Not at that moment.
So you'd be like, okay. And as the time goes, you'd be like, oh, wait. And then it comes back full circle and then you revisit. Now, I'm a one and done. I'll be like, yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Clear it because you put you're all into it. And once you put your all into it and then it's the same person, you remember how the game went before. And it's like, okay, I put my all into it and y'all cheated. You still a cheater. You know what I mean? I got basketball in my head, lovely people. So follow me. You paid the refs, okay? So why would I go again with you and the rest is your friends? I'm not playing again. It's like, okay, because I didn't put it all out there. And then you remember how you felt. Because I'm going to tell you something. With a divorce, it's a grieving process.
It is.
It's a grieving process. And you have to go through all 5 processes, all 5 steps. And then you get your healing and you be like, okay. And then, for some unknown reason, they may come back and expect you to do it again. Well, they don't realize that it was a grieving process and you done went through all that and you remember how you were. Cause thank God for memory. Okay. You're like, not doing that again. And how do you step back into it? You know what I mean? How do you go? Because you can't with a clean slate. You can forgive, but you still, that's going to be in the back of your mind. Now, when you're in a relationship and it's like, we're cool. This is the person for me. And yes, boom, we're still cool. We're friends. And we didn't go that far where it was a commitment because you saw, okay, this is not working right now. Does not mean that it won't work later with a little growth. And so that's why I tell people, don't just cut it off. Don't just be like, okay, I'm done. I ain't talking to you. You could become good friends. You can be with the person. All is well, is perfect. Sometimes the other person may slow down and fear commitment. And it's not you. It's like, okay, they might have their own thing. But here's the thing. Don't get upset. Because what happens is when we actually get upset, we look at it like we start reevaluating ourselves. And it's like, well, I did it. Hold on. It might not even be you, sis. It might be him. It might not even be you, bro. It might be her. She probably like, okay, I know I'm going to marry this person. That's in her mind. I'm going to marry this person, but not today.
Right.
Because there's some things that maybe that other person might want to do. I'm not saying be on standby. I'm saying do you, be you, and see where it goes. And then maybe that could be like your best friend. You'd be like, oh, okay, I'm glad we didn't go across the line because that might have ruined it. Now, yes, we all love love. I'm going to tell you how I was. I'm a confession. I'm cool. Soon as somebody fall in love, they start changing.
Yes. Oh, because love will change you. And I wanted to.
I like this person. This is the person I like. What happened?
Right.
Like,
I
what?
think that when you let go and let God, another thing is helpful to keep in mind is that trust that there's someone better out there, like more compatible for you. Don't think that that's your end all be all. And I think a lot of women get hung up on that. Like, you think that, oh, they were so great. There's not going to be anyone as great as that person. But you don't know that.
Girl, they be thinking that. And they'll tell you. And see, that's your big no-no. Ladies, that's when you run. When that dude tell you that you the best they ever had and they ain't know you before, that's somebody working on your psyche, trying to affect your self-esteem. If they are attacking your self-esteem, they do not love you. Or they don't know how to love. Because there is no way you love somebody and call yourself loving somebody and you tearing down their self-esteem. And that's working on your self-esteem. When they say they're the best you ever had, this and that, they're trying to build theirs up, but they're trying to put yours down.
Right.
No, and make you reevaluate yourself. No, this ain't it. That's it. The end. Bye. See you. I think it's hilarious because you do have those people that way. And I'm like, okay, so you're the one. If you know me, you know how I'm a rock. I'm going to notice it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm an observer. Oh, you're the one with the self-esteem issues. This wouldn't have worked anyway. Because, now, Nick, you know, if you got low self-esteem, don't even come over here. Because you might mess around and be like the R, allegedly, with paper, butt naked with paper. A suicide watch somewhere. Like,
right.
Don't fool with me because I be out. I'll be like that.
Mm-hmm. See, I got to the point where, like, I'll tell them in a minute, I don't chase them, I replace them. Because as far as divorce is a grieving process, but, like, some people are, when they get to the point of they're wanting a divorce, they've already gone through their grieving process and they're ready to move.
Yeah, and you're right. That's what you do. You're ready to move on. You're like, okay, and that's when you know you're done. I got to ask you a personal question. Do you mind?
Go ahead.
Okay, you've been married 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any common denominators within the 3 that you ever paid attention to? I'm not going to dissect you. I'm just asking. We'll find out next show. Look, because it's over the time.
I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying that he's saying he's the best you've ever had. You meet a guy or a girl, and you're like, wow, this is the best person I've ever met. Or
to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you feel that way yourself, but it's not working out, keep in mind that even though it seems like this is the best person you've ever dated, there is someone out there better.
Yes.
Okay, to answer Bill's question, the common denominator between the 3.
I was asking, did you have one? Is there a common denominator?
My attitude. I mean,
what?
But
no, with those 3, not you. With those 3, the common denominator with those 3.
Not me, but when I'm pushed to that point, I'm that when I'm pushed to that point.
Watch this. No. Listen to what you're doing now. You're dealing with your own psyche. Don't do that.
Between them?
No, I'm talking about between them. So don't look at you. Don't look at you at all. I'm asking you to look at them and see if there's a common denominator with the 3. I'm just curious to know. Because that tell you your type.
Common denominator with 3? Jesus.
You can wait till next show. I'm just curious to know.
Child, listen, they all so far heart.
Okay, well, listen, that's going to take some time, and it's all good. It's all good. Look.
What drew me to them?
I don't know. You just adding. I'm not asking that. That's added too. So when you write it down, ladies out there, when you write it all down and just write down whatever type of guy that you've dated and see the common denominator in them, and don't lie to yourself, because it'll actually show you who you are and what you're attracted to, and write it down. Yeah, once you write it all down, just boom, 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 put their names, bam, be like, oh, wow. Or if there isn't, then that's great. You're an explorer. That's a good thing. But it's just so that it's only for you. You don't even have to share it. It's only for you. It's just an exercise. And that's what I do, because it tells me, and I'll be looking like, oh, I do like that person. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's my common denominator? What am I attracted to? Even if they don't look the same.
Right.
And you be like, cause remember back in the day, oh, he was light skinned, he had a curl, that was it. And then he had a long curl, that was, and you be like, okay, tall, boom. So as far as a little deeper, especially over 40. And then you look and you jot it down, and it's just for you, ladies. You don't even have to share it. Just for your own personal knowledge. And then it lets you reflect and be like, And then if it's bad, you be like, now why do I keep going there? And here's the thing. And then you look at yourself and then say, what about me attracts these people? And then you fix it. You don't let nobody else tell you about you. You can go kick rocks with that. I'm like, you don't tell me. Let me dissect myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you just have to be honest. When you're honest, that's where healing comes in at.
You're all right.
Go ahead. I know you got your family reunion coming up today. Your family reunion. What does it say? Our roots run deep. Okay. Keller Campbell, family reunion. Yes. I definitely want to keep one of our shop talkers. I appreciate all of her support in your prayers. Wanda Keller, please, for all my saints, go ahead and put one up for her and her healing. Oh God. Here we go. All right. Watch this. Yeah. Yeah, we real up on this mug. This mug be live. Let me do the footnote. Today's footnote. And y'all already know, it's okay to be you. And don't allow other people to project what they feel about you on you. Okay? All right. Let me introduce you to my co-host. We about to let her go right now. She emotional. Let's give it up for Nick the Voice. Thank you so much, darling. And we know our analysis, the one and only, the lovely Amber D. Thank you very much, doll. All right, and I'm your girl, Mel. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like us on all socials and check us out on your favorite podcasts. All right? All right, well, that is my time, lovely people, and I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And yes, you can rewind and listen to the podcast anytime you like. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. And until next week, people, you know what it is. Shop Talk right here on your Spreaker and any podcast that you like. Peace.